back. Time for another edition of the Carolina Insider Rapid Reactions edition after Carolina tops Lehigh in the Smith Center today, 90-68. Coming up in just a moment, you'll see and hear our interview with the head coach of the Tar Heels, Hubert Davis. Adam had a chance to catch up with Armando Bacot, who had another huge game, 22 points, 20 rebounds for Armando. So he is now at, I believe it is 47 points and 33 rebounds through the first two games of the season. So impressive numbers for him. Adam, Carolina was up 15 late in the first half in this game. It looked like they may run away from it. Lehigh got hot, hit a bunch of threes near the end of the first half, played well at the beginning of the second half, got it all the way down to 3. And then the Tar Heels really grabbed control after that. So a 22-point win, and not the cleanest victory of all time, but certainly a lot to like from what the Tar Heels did this afternoon.
I thought Carolina did a good job when Lehigh was making the threes of not freaking out and staying with what was working, which was feeding Armando Bacot the 22 and 20 in just 26 minutes.
Yeah.
That's incredibly efficient. Now, as he said, some of those rebounds were rebounding his own misses, but Kennedy Meeks says that's fine.
Yeah.
And the other thing that was working was R.J. Davis, who 8 of 14 from the field and 3 of 6 from 3. A great afternoon from him. He looked like your veteran playmaking backcourt guy, which is what he is, what Carolina needs him to be.
You'll hear from, again, Coach Davis and Armando in just a second. And one thing Hubert Davis says in this upcoming interview, which I thought was relevant, is Carolina was just 5 of 17 from three-point range, and the Heels have not shot the three particularly well here in the first couple games. But he said, you can do that and still win by 22 when you're plus 22 in the paint and plus 12 second chance and plus 14 in fast breaks and plus 20 at the free throw line. So there was enough there, and there was a lot there that mitigated Carolina not shooting the ball perfectly from the outside.
Well, if you take out R.J. Davis and you take out Rob Landry almost knocking the backboard over, but it went in,
yeah.
The rest of the Tar Heels just 1 for 10 from 3. So not a great afternoon shooting the ball, as you said, but I think one thing this Carolina team has is the ability to score in other ways and the ability to cause problems for teams in other ways, and they did enough of that. Played a little faster, I thought, than they did the previous game, and that created some easier looks so they didn't have to just stand around and shoot threes on a day when the threes weren't going in.
All right, let's get to those interviews. Hubert Davis, Armando Bacot, and we'll come back and wrap things up here on the Carolina Insider Rapid Reactions edition presented by Modelo. Back inside the Smith Center, Carolina gets a 90-68 victory over Lehigh this afternoon to improve to 2-0, and I'm inside the Continental Tire Coach's Corner alongside the head coach of the Tar Heels, Hubert Davis. Coach, I think a lot of numbers on the stat sheet that I'm guessing you like. 38-16 advantage in the paint, 14-2 second chance points, 17-3 fast break opportunity, you're plus 20 and made free throws as well. A lot of things that feels like when those things happen, your team does well.
Yeah, I was really proud of them on both ends of the floor. But really, defensively, when you talk about Lehigh, like one, they're good, and the way that they move without the basketball, just a lot of screening and cutting, and you got a lot of communication that has to be out there on the floor. Plus, they go, they go for about 20, 25 seconds every possession. Mm-hmm. So not only do you have to play sound defense, you have to play sound defense for a long time and be disciplined. And I just felt like this is good for us moving forward. I thought we did a really good job of that, especially in the second half. We made the missed shots, and then if we can, get the rebound, then we get out in transition, we can go. Offensively, we got points in the paint. I thought the thing from an offensive standpoint that was really good is, especially in the second half, we attacked the basket through post penetration, offensive rebound, which led us to get into the penalty and get to the free throw line. And we shot the ball really well from the free throw line. So that's a reason why you can go 5 of 17 and not really shoot the ball well from 3 and still be able to score 90 points. That's good basketball for both of us.
Lehigh kind of whittled away at you had a 15-point lead at one point. They cut it all the way down to 3, and then it seemed like your team just, I don't want to say flipped a switch, but they really started going at them.
No, we did. We got multiple stops, and then we started to score in transition, and in transition we're we're pretty good. And I thought during that stretch, not only when they cut it to 3 did we execute, I thought we had poise. We didn't panic, and we just got back to the things that we've been told and taught on both ends of the floor and things that we have to do consistently. And so that's a sign of a good basketball team that can respond in those situations and be able to come out with a win.
So many new pieces on your team this year, but two guys we've seen a bunch from through their careers, 22 points, yeah, RJ, and then 22 and 20 from Armando Bacot, just dominant performances from them.
Yeah, RJ is amazing. It's nice to be a coach and say that guy's on my team. It really is. I mean, the luxury of having him out there on the floor the last 4 years has just been an honor and a blessing. He's just not only is he good, he just energizes and gives life to the entire team, and he has an ability to give us what we need. So if we distributing, he'll give you that, defense and rebounding. He'll give you that we need some scoring. He'll go out there and knock it down from 3. And so, Armando, he had another 20-20 game. This is what is required and what is needed of him every game. He is our guy, and we want to establish him down low in the paint, and you really did a good job of that today.
Because you have one more home game coming up on Friday, then you make the trip to the Bahamas, and not that your schedule has not been difficult because you faced 2 good teams so far, but it really ramps up. What is your goal here over the next week or so as you continue to head towards those really difficult games?
Well, one of the things that I like about this is it gives us a chance to work on us. When you're in those tournaments, the back-to-back games, you're in preparation mode and scouting, and you don't really get to have time to work on us as a team. And so this week leading up to our game on Friday, it gives us time to grow as a team and look at this tape. And after the game, I told them, a mistake is good if you can recognize it, admit it, learn from it, and grow from it. And so that's what we need to do this week in order to prepare ourselves for Friday and just moving forward.
That's UC Riverside on Friday at 8 o'clock. Then the Heels heading to the Bahamas after that. But for today, it is a 90-68 victory here in the Smith Center. Coach, congratulations. Look forward to talking with you soon.
All right, thank you so much.
That's Hubert Davis, guys, inside the Continental Tire Coach's Corner.
Alongside Armando Bacot after Carolina's 90-60 win over Lehigh. Tar Heels now 2-0. Armando with a couple of 2-0s, a 22-point, 20-rebound game. Armando, that's the third of your career. What enabled you to do it this afternoon?
Well, I missed a lot of shots, and my teammate missed a lot of shots, so I got a lot of offensive boards. But, it was just all-out effort. Harrison and all the guards did a great job of boxing out, so a lot of easy defensive rebounds for me, and obviously I got a few offensive rebounds too.
They were a little hot from 3 early, and you guys just kind of kept plugging along, hitting some 2s, and slowly stretching out the lead. When the other team's making a lot of 3s, how do you stay with the game plan and do what you know you're good at doing?
Like you said, just staying with the game plan. A team like that, they play really slow, and we got to guard actions for 25 seconds or more. Really that game was great for us too, just preparing us deeper in the ACC play. UVA play, and they like to play slow. So just having the discipline to stick it out the whole game and just trusting our principles and end up working in the end. So it was a huge game for us.
Even though they did want to play slow, you had 17 fast break points, and you look like a gazelle out there in the second half. You still look fresh, getting the dunk, getting up on the rim some. How were you able to run even on a day when the opponent really didn't want to?
Yeah, that's just been our brand of basketball we want to play all year, just running, getting out on the break, and that's something that Coach emphasized at halftime is just trying to run and get deep post catches, try to get their bigs in foul trouble, and just try to get easy layups and easy kick-out threes.
What'd you do better defensively in the second half against what they were trying to do offensively?
I would say the bigs, we made more of an emphasis of getting higher. I think early on in the game in the first half, the guards on their team got a lot of cleaner looks with just us not being as high, and the bigs weren't really rolling to the paint. So in the second half, we wanted to get higher up on the screens to kind of make the guards on the other team second guess.
You're a guy who's got a pretty good sense of history. You passed Marcus Page and Bob Lewis in career scoring for Carolina today. What does that mean to you?
It feels great. People can't say I've been here for 5 years because they still play more games than me. So I think it kind of evens out. That's my excuse for passing them.
Marcus have anything to say to you?
I haven't said anything to him yet, but I'll be sure to say something to him.
Carolina's got 4 days off before you're back home again on Friday night and then heading to the Bahamas as the competition goes up a notch. Once that happens, what does this team need to do better?
I mean, this is a huge week for us, kind of just to learn from our mistakes in the first 2 games that we played, and also just keep continuing to get better. We played a great team on Friday, like you said, and then obviously we got a huge challenge coming up in the Bahamas, so we got to kind of show our maturity this week and work on just recovering as a team, but also just getting better and keep growing and growing every day.
That's Armando Bacot, 2020 man. Carolina beats Lehigh. Thanks, Mondo.
Adam, I thought it was interesting. First thing Hubert Davis talked about was Carolina's defense, and Lehigh's got some good guards that can really shoot. They'll be a competitive team in the Patriot League. I mean, look, Carolina's obviously more talented than Lehigh. I'm not suggesting that, but to hold them to 36.5% with some guards, I think that can really score. Pretty good defensive effort from Carolina.
And I thought the depth played a role there again, as Carolina was able to cycle some players both in the backcourt and the front court. Thought Seth Trimble had some good minutes off the bench.
Well.
Thought Jalen Withers and Zayden High, although they didn't put up a ton of box score numbers, it felt like they were always involved when they were out there. So Tar Heels able to get some good contributions up and down the lineup again.
You mentioned the pace, and it did feel like Carolina got out and ran a little bit, got some easy buckets, got fouled in transition. Some got to the free throw line where the Tar Heels were 23 of 28 from the stripe, so that another positive today. And I mean, Carolina only out-rebounded Radford by 3 or 4 the other night. Lehigh had actually out-rebounded each of its first 2 opponents, including Penn State, on Friday night, and led by Bacot's 20. Carolina, I mean, dominated the glass, 52-31, a number that is very attractive.
If you only saw the box score but didn't see the date, you would say, did Roy Williams coach this game?
Yeah, I agree.
Because very much a Roy Williams type of win.
And last thing before we go, another game in which the Tar Heels have 10 players play 8 minutes or more. So Carolina using that depth that it feels like it has this year effectively for the second consecutive game. Okay, busy week coming up. We will, basketball-wise, back with you on Friday night. Tar Heels hosting UC Riverside in the Smith Center. Of course, there's a lot of football action this week, Mac Brown Radio Show, and Carolina Clemson on Saturday afternoon as well. But for now and for today, Carolina improves to 2-0 with the 90-68 win over Lehigh. Thanks for being with us on the Carolina Insider Rapid Reactions Edition, presented by Modelo.